This is the third of 3 healing experientials related to the episode about energy boundaries and clearing absorbed energies, as well as strengthening your boundaries. You can find the full podcast as well as the other 2 meditations at CandiceWoo.com/energy. Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Embody podcast, a show about remembering and embodying your true nature, inner wisdom, embodied healing, and self-love. My name is Candice Woo, and I'm a holistic healing facilitator, intuitive coach, and artist sharing my personal journey of vulnerability, offering meditations and guided healing support, and having co-creative conversations with healers and wellness practitioners from all over the world. This practice is an amalgamation of family constellations healing practices as well as somatic experiencing. Specifically, this healing experiential is to support you in feeling clarity in your order and position in your ancestry. It is to support you in releasing any responsibility for others' emotions or their fates, what they bear in their life, any losses or traumas or emotions that are unintegrated from your family lineage, from anyone in the past. What happens is sometimes we inherit them, we connect with them and hold them with our family. And this healing experiential can help you release any of those energies or dynamics that belong to someone else and shift you into the position, your true and natural position of who you are in your family system to receive the best from your family, to receive all the gifts, the strength, the love and support, and to leave the rest. This experience might go very deep for you. It might be challenging to connect with or doesn't resonate. See what happens for you. It is meant to be a taste of the Family Constellations work. And if you do decide to go further with it, working with a clinician, whether that's a Family Constellations practitioner or another ancestral healing worker in a group or individually, you can go very deep in shifting the connections of the ancestry that you've inherited and the ways that you absorb others' energy or have strong boundaries. If you feel at any time that what you're experiencing is overwhelming or a bit too distressing, just pause the podcast, take a break, and let yourself rest in the safety of the present moment. Sense your surroundings and just find some grounding. Feel free to come back to this exercise anytime or do it with some support. And just one other thing to mention is that our family lineage isn't exactly what equates to who we are in this world. We are much more than what we are given and who we are in a family system. We don't necessarily need to be dependent on the family lineage, but what happens is there are many unconscious dynamics that we are given that we're tied to. So dynamics that we're not even aware of. And when we bring these to light, we can release them. When we bring them to light as well, we also can see that we are much more powerful than the dynamics we are given, that we can tap into a spiritual sense that's far beyond our ancestry. That is the divine energy that's everywhere. That is who we are at the source. So let's transition now and jump into the healing experiential. For this particular activity, I'd invite you to stand up. And as you stand and I introduce the different aspects of the healing experiential, see what happens to your body position, to the way you are standing, whether it's easy or hard, or where your weight is, what sensations you feel and where, what emotions, and anything you notice in terms of your movement or images that pop into your mind, thoughts, etc. So we're just opening up to all the information that you could possibly receive and sense. As I introduce each aspect, see what shifts for you and what might be staying the same, and just notice and get curious about that experience. We'll work with 2 parts, your own family system, as well as transferring that experience to another person in your life that you may be having a challenge with, whether you're absorbing their energy or you're not sure, or there's just some very connected dynamic that you'd like to work with. We'll do those in 2 segments. The last bit of preparation is please be sure you have about 15 to 30 minutes from this point so that you can absorb and integrate what's happening in this healing experiential, as well as give yourself some downtime in case some different emotions come up or you find out new insight. So here we go. As you stand, just notice how you feel in your body right now. Feel free to keep your eyes open or close them or look down, just sensing inward. Feel your breath in and out of your body, and let your awareness go all the way down to your hips, your legs, your ankles, and your feet. Feel the bottoms of your feet, and just let your body be natural in whatever way it's expressing itself now or holding itself. Letting your breathing just be the way it is. And if there's any movement or sensation, let that be expressed and felt. Now, I invite you to sense and imagine behind you your parents. If you have adoptive parents or other guardians or important people growing up, feel free to invite them as well. Imagine one parent behind your right shoulder and one behind your left shoulder. If you have a father and a mother, place your father behind your right shoulder and mother behind left. And just notice what it's like as you imagine them right behind you. Notice any emotion, any experience, just getting curious and letting it be witnessed. Now invite your grandparents to stand behind them, also in that order. Notice what it's like that they're in the picture as well. See what changes in your body, what might shift. And now invite your great grandparents. Again, see any shift in yourself, any experience of sensation or emotion. Whether you know your great grandparents or not, or even your grandparents, just inviting the presence of that person. And it doesn't matter if they're dead or alive, or if you were close to them or not, just sensing a presence. And let's continue to your great great grandparents. And farther back, adding in their parents. And another 2 generations at least. Feel free to imagine as far back as you can imagine in your lineage. And just sense the magnificence of this family line that's still alive and strong today. So I invite you to turn around and face your family system. And just sense that this is your position. You are a child of your parents, and they're bigger than you. And take a moment if you feel that you are in the right place. Just sensing into where your body might want to go. Sometimes, if you've learned early on unconsciously that perhaps your parent needed someone to help them with certain emotions, or your grandparent was absent, then you may have energetically moved to a different position without knowing it, or perhaps knowing it. That's called parentification. If you become the parent of your parent in some way, sense whether any part of you has shifted position into another place. And now just ground yourself in this place, coming back to your true and natural position of being a child to these parents. And we'll do one more piece of information gathering. If you skim the line of your lineage, just with open heart and seeing beyond the mind, if you sense into your parents, then your grandparents, then farther and farther back, do so slowly and just see if you are called to sense into any one particular person more and what emotions you feel as you just hover your awareness over each person. Notice if you feel a certain emotion as you're aware of any particular person. For example, you might feel sadness as you look towards your grandma, or you might feel anger or tension somewhere as you just sense back into the line of your family. And get curious about where you're feeling that and with whom. This is not a process of blaming or anything at all, just gathering information about your sense and connection. And it's not necessary to know the exact facts or details. But you might have an awareness of what's connected with these emotions, what kinds of losses, traumas, challenges, or situations may connect with the emotions you're sensing and picking up on. If something feels particularly intense, notice that as well. Now, wherever you've felt any emotion, whether that's intense or something that seems connected with someone else in your family line, see what happens if you just release any of those emotions back to who they belong. You can even imagine a color or a shape of emotion or energy and just letting it go back to where this belongs, who it might belong to, and notice what happens in you as you do that. You may be carrying someone else's emotions in the family line, especially if that emotion was unintegrated or there was some sort of survival mode or having to move forward after something challenging or overwhelming. So check in with yourself, see if there's anything else that you need to release back to where it belongs, back to whose story that belongs to. It might not be an emotion, it might just be a sense of a feeling or some sort of energy. And then coming back to your sense and grounding of yourself. And as you look upon this family line, your ancestry, feel in your true and natural position, your right position. Feel into the strength, whatever strength there is of this family line, and the gifts that you can receive from them. See this family line connected all the way to the source that's behind everyone. And let yourself receive from this position the best of the lineage. Feel free to open your arms, face your palms up, as if to receive anything that this family system wants to provide you or give you. Try out the words, thank you, or I receive only the best from you, and I leave the rest. Or I'm responsible only for myself. You are responsible for you. And there is support behind me. Notice any emotions or sensations in your body as you experience these words. Again, the words are, I receive the best from you, and I leave the rest. I'm responsible only for myself. You are responsible for you, and there is support behind me. And if that's challenging to see that support or that responsibility in others in your family line, look farther back to see where there is support, where there is strength, responsibility, enoughness. And take a few more moments to feel into anything that's strengthening, grounding, or beautiful in this lineage. Now, thank yourself and thank your family lineage for showing up and showing all of this to you. And when you feel ready, I invite you to turn back around so that they're all behind you. Feel their presence behind you, just the best, just the love, the strength, and the gifts as you face the world. Notice how your body stands. Feel your breath. Notice what it's like to be in your body at this time. And now I invite you to segment 2, inviting someone that's close to you forward, someone that you feel challenged with, perhaps someone you feel like you are absorbing their energy or their emotions. Invite whoever that is forward in front of you. You can be as close or as far away as you need to be to feel comfortable. This may also be someone that you feel responsible for, that it isn't your place to feel that way, or that you tend to give advice to or feel lethargic or drained after you see them. So as you look towards them, I want you to imagine their family line all behind them, just as you did yourself, their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. And just keep going as far back as you can imagine even if you don't know any of these people or they're dead or alive. You can also imagine any other loving support that this person has to stand behind them. And feel whatever it is you feel as you look upon them with all of these people behind them supporting. Now feel the words, just as you did for yourself with your family line. I am responsible for only myself. You are responsible for you, and you have support behind you. And see the strength of their lineage, whether or not they can see it themselves. See farther back if you need to, the source, the love or the light behind all of this family. See that this person has everything they need in their family system and within themselves to be whole, to heal if they need to heal, to be themselves, and that you are not responsible for them. You're responsible for only you. See them with this deep respect and honoring, that they are responsible for their own journey, just as your parents are, just as each member of your family is, just as you are for yourself. Take as long as you'd like here to sense into this dynamic and into this presence, into whatever it is you're feeling inside, letting it be noticed, letting it move if it wants to move. And when you feel complete, thank all of the parts of this person and their family line for showing up, and release them into the universe. Thank your family line, your ancestry for showing up, and just release them as well. And thank yourself for doing this very deep practice and exploring in this way. Take your time to feel into whatever it is that came up for you and whatever it is that you feel now. And I'll leave you with a little bit of silence that you can just breathe through your body, wherever you're feeling any sensation or emotion, anything at all. You'll know when this guided practice is over when you hear a little bit of music at the end. Thank you so much for practicing today, and I'll see you next time.